right. Am I muted? Okay, great. Will work for tacos. The nameplate that's going to change every other week. Anyways, hey, hello, welcome to the bi-weekly IoTeXperts live stream brought to you by the folks at IoTeX. My name is Robert Wolf, here this week as your host and every other week to take a deeper look at the IoTeX ecosystem and explore the many things going on in and around this exciting space. Each of these live streams will start with developer updates, followed by in-depth conversation with IoTeX and the different experts we have within IoTeX, as well as our community. We'll discuss a plethora of topics, explore opportunities, resources, and bring all the exciting IoTeX developments to light. Now, each of these events does end with an audience Q&A. However, I would like to add that if you have any questions, pop them into the YouTube chat and we'll get to them as soon as possible. As a reminder, if you enjoy this live stream, smash that like button. It helps us out a lot. If you have any feedback, constructive criticism, and or just some other questions after the stream is over and you're watching it on demand, post something in the comment section. We do monitor the comments, and we'll be glad to help you out there. I want to also just kind of pop this up here because we're always in the Discord server. So the IoTeX Discord server right there, scrolling across the bottom. We have an amazing developer community, and we have some great folks from IoTeX there just waiting and ready to support you developers while you take your journey into the IoTeX blockchain and start building cool stuff. So this week, it's a special episode. I'll share this link again in the chat. This is a special episode. We brought EnviroBLOQ back, the CEO and CTO, William and Chuck, to talk to us about some exciting new developments. And they're going to take over the first portion of this live stream. Then we'll hopefully be meeting with Simone, who should be joining us, resident IoTexpert, and Giuseppe, who will be joining me as now the new founded co-host of this stream, amazingly helping me guide this stream forward. So let's bring on Will, Chuck, and Giuseppe on right now. So hello, welcome.
Hey guys.
Giuseppe,
Hello.
what's up?
It's good. I just wanted to say I will work for tacos as well, but I didn't know that was a, it depends how good they are. But I think they're better on your side of the U.S.
I want to cross this out and put I will work for IoTeX.
Yeah, that too. I do work for IoTeX.
Robert, the tacos are better in Texas, I promise.
Oh, Tex-Mex tacos. I don't know about that. We'll have another episode and a debate around that. So Will, Chuck, now we had you on an earlier episode while you're doing your origin stories, because I want to do it again in case someone didn't watch that previous episode. Spend a minute, not too much. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got to the point where you are with EnviroBLOQ. Want to know your brief history. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get the link to the previous episode.
Perfect.
So you, Will.
Hey guys, I'm Will McCann, for those who don't know me, founder of EnviroBLOQ. I've been in the crypto space just about a year now. Mechanical engineer, got into oil and gas and got into roofing after that, which brought me into attics and got a lot of time studying roofing and ventilation and kind of efficiency of home spaces. So in my deep dive of IoTeX and discovering MachineFi and Pebble, the Halo grant came across, and I decided to apply for a Halo grant with the idea of sticking these pebbles in attics and studying attic environments. And here we are with EnviroBLOQ, expanded from the attic space into full smart home and beyond. So excited to share where we are now.
Thank you, Will. And appreciate having you here. Chuck, you're up. Welcome.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it very much. And as Will said, we both been discovering IoTeX together in this arena. But I started probably 30 years ago and been in the infrastructure side, IT services side of the world, getting into this part of the business, the IoT space, and now tying that to the blockchain. And I'm pumped and excited, ready to go. But the big joke was I had retired and Will pulling me back into the deal, and I'm just loving, the IoTeX structure and the ecosystem and everything. So it's really it's a great joy to be here. Appreciate you guys including us in on this.
Awesome.
Yeah, it shows you guys are like the some of the most active members of our community.
And so we really much appreciate that. And it's nice to see you guys grow and see where EnviroBlock is going as a, very interesting use case for Pebble, but also for Webstream. And I'm very curious to see how you guys are going to implement all that.
And Simone is here too.
Simone.
Hi, everybody. Sorry for being late.
That's
How are
okay.
We
you,
got
sir?
scared for a second.
Fashionably late. I love the hoodie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We need
Yeah,
one
so-
of those.
Oh, it's an IoTeX hoodie.
Oh.
Love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, the other
Yeah.
way around, but yeah.
So real quick, I want to let everyone know that's watching right now, we have a great viewership. We love it, every single one of you. And then on demand, these streams do get quite a few views later on, but you can really help us by spreading the word. If you have a Twitter, I just shared the link there. Go ahead and retweet that. Help us spread the word about these live streams. Bring your developer friends in, because this is the perfect place where community meets IoTeX. We're here to help. We're here to actually, interact with you all. That's why we're here. Now, Simone, I kind of talked to Will and Chuck beforehand in the green room. We're gonna do the IoTeX. Sorry, we're gonna do the EnviroBlock segment first, so they have some stuff to share, some announcements, and then we'll go into your segment where we're gonna expand on the previous 2 episodes about Webstream, right?
Yep.
Excellent. All right, cool. So Will and Chuck, the floor is yours. We're going to do our best to make sure that we vet any questions coming in, and you can take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us back. We're very excited. Last time, I think it was a couple months ago that we were first on live stream. So a lot has changed since then. We've opened our beta testing. So we now have 44 Pebbles all over the world that are feeding us live data in real time. Those users are getting rewarded with 10 IoTeX per Pebble per day. So, we're in real time proving the Web3 model of getting rewarded for your data. And that was very important for us. First off, taking this Web3 concept and making it sustainable and really getting rewarded for this valuable data that everyone's feeding in real time all the time. So starting with the Pebble, as you know, we've been inviting everyone that has bought these Pebbles all over the world. They've been collecting dust because they were bought with the intent of hooking up to an app and mining their data with them. But we are kind of the first plug and play ready app to be able to hook them up to and really mine your data with. So we've been preaching as far and wide as we can to get everyone hooked up to us and start feeding us data from their attics. Those that don't have attics, that just are in apartments, we're utilizing their balconies for decentralized weather stations, or indoors for indoor air quality monitoring, just somehow to collect data to be able to reward them to build this model. We'll eventually move beyond the Pebble, but really just proving this Web3 concept and machine-fi concept using devices that are already in existence.
Real quick, Will, I love this comment from Mountain Man. He says, a few people here live to hear updates from EnviroBlock. Real forward thinkers. Good compliment for you guys.
And that's what, from day one, Mountain Man's been one of our biggest followers and biggest supporters. He's actually the one, if you saw the hurricane data that we captured in Florida, that was from his attic. So,
oh, wow,
cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that was very cool. So, we're so excited that we knew it was going to be an easy adoption to kind of get people that have bought Pebbles and didn't know what to do with them and to get them hooked up. So just kind of getting through of where can they buy the SIM cards that'll work for their countries, kind of navigating through that. But the real test was, can we get people to fork money out to buy a new device? Are they that excited about this opportunity to find out where they can buy the Pebble? So we've been very excited in the last month or so, because I'm getting asked almost every day, hey, where can you buy them? How can we get online? How can we do this? So that's very encouraging. Just kind of seeing this, because as y'all have seen, it's all over the world, here in the States, but, China, Italy, the UK, Singapore. So it's very cool kind of seeing the different environments that are being analyzed, but also just the vast amounts of data that we're collecting in real time every day. So couldn't be more excited and can't build fast enough. As Chuck mentioned, I pulled him out of early retirement, and I'm always joking. I want to crack the whip, but not in a stressful way. We're moving as fast as we can, but staying busy.
You're very lucky. You're very lucky to get someone like Chuck. I've actually tried pulling people out of retirement, my genie, and it's not easy. Chuck, please tell us what your thoughts. Add on to what Will said.
Well, it's just the whole space is so exciting, and Will's energy, I think he really does have some good coffee in there, by the way. That really keeps him going. So it's charged. But if I could just real quick to show, see if I can pop something up here real quick.
Oh yeah, so you're going to share your screen? Let's bring it on.
Yeah, let me share a screen just to show the folks that we really are pulling some data, and we've coming across a few things. Just real quick here. If you guys can see this.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm not going to go in a lot of too much detail or anything, but we'll let William talk about it. But
could you give us the high level first, like what we're looking at, what all of this means? Like, make sure we kind of are give us the step by step. We're babies here.
So very cool. So I'm looking at using Power BI to pull the data out of our database and to pull this together. So this is data that we're pulling from the current Webstream that we have, the Pebble Webstream. We're pulling that into a database for us that we have here. So I'm looking. This is the folks in Texas. There's five folks in Texas, and it's kind of using a small region. And this is the temperature, and this is the daily temperature. So if you can see down at the chart, maybe a little hard. It's from November 1st to November 27th, and just right off the bat, if you're looking at this, you kind of see that this gray area right here. This house, this particular attic temperature is flat going across the line, whereas you see the others temperature. There's four other attics. Let me show something here real quick. This is when we first started. Part of our Halo grant was to do a case study on just a couple of houses, and this is William's house and one of the other folks that got into our beta test early. The houses are exactly the same. Same build, same neighborhood, same area, but William has attic ventilation in his house where the other house doesn't. And so we were able to pick that up. If you can see that one of them is lower than the other one. But that's kind of what we expected to see. But what we didn't expect to see was when I add this other house, their data kind of went across straight. And there's a reason for that. I would William to just briefly show or explain why that roof data is flat instead of going up and down like the other two.
For sure. Yeah, and as Chuck mentioned, the orange and blue lines there are from our case study. So I'm the blue line, and this was interesting because here in Texas, the whole point of your house in order to conserve energy is to keep your house cool. We're cooling more than we're heating here in this part of the world. So your attic ventilation is very important for keeping your interior cooler, your AC working not as hard. So ventilation here is very important. So that was our study is, I had replaced my roof. I upgraded the ventilation system to some solar attic vents that are actually pulling the air out instead of just a static ventilation. So we wanted to study that and see if there's a measurable difference that we could then convert to either electrical savings over time, cycle times for, expanding the life of a HVAC system. But we wanted to see how that flipped as we got into the winter time. And you can see here, I'm actually staying warmer than Jaime. So I've actually flipped on some of these days. We're kind of in this teetering as a change of the season, but we're playing the seesaw of I'm not staying cooler than Jaime's attic like I was all summer long. So that's kind of the first bit. And then as Chuck was mentioning, Fran's attic is staying more constant. And that's because she has a whole different type of attic system. It's a closed system where it's almost as an air conditioned space, to where it's not an open ventilation to where it has outside ambient air. So lots of advantages to that selling point for that blown in insulation. They call it open cell or closed cell blown in attic space, as far as saving power over time, because your attic ducts aren't running through an attic that's 120 degrees. It's running through an attic that's maybe 85 degrees. So from a first off standpoint, it looks like a very cut and dry energy savings over time. But what we found and what we've studied is that you do have a moisture problem in these attics. So a lot of times these attics will have mold issues. So one thing that we're studying, you can't see it here, but we're studying the air quality of the different attic spaces to see what we can measure there and pick up, a poor air quality that's going to seep into the interior from the attic space of the sealed closed cell foam. So, like everything we're doing, we need more data, but this was very exciting to see from the very small sample size that we have that we can already measure these differences. So
Will, real quick here. I've obviously, if you didn't know, bragged about EnviroBLOQ to several people, right? Like, friends, family, as we synergize being part of the IoTeX ecosystem. But I also just think that you guys are just doing amazing things. I've been asked, like, no joke, by at least 4 of the 5 people I've talked to about EnviroBLOQ. Their question boils down to, like, okay, but how do they monetize? Because I know you're getting this information, this data. I'm guessing that the data can be given back to the person who's providing you the data. So you're opening the data somehow, but then, like where does like the money come in? Like when EnviroBLOQ starts generating revenue, where does this come in? And if this question can't be answered yet, totally understandable. If you can't answer it right now, it's fine. My speculation was, hey, well, EnviroBLOQ's collecting all this data. They can then sell it to, roofing companies or, insulation companies, window companies, stuff like that.
Exactly. And that's exactly where we're headed. Collecting the data and proving the value. So we were starting with a case study of, giving a deliverable to this ventilation company saying, hey, look how we've proven with blockchain data with this tamper-proof device, we've proven how efficient and superior your ventilation system is versus what's on the market. So now you can take this real world data and use it for your marketing purposes to then sell more units. So from a very simple example of just a ventilation system or a solar vent, we've then kind of extrapolated that to everything to, once we have enough data, we can extrapolate HVAC cycle times, different design types of buildings and roof design structures. You get into the point of construction with home builders to where you're seeing how efficient their builds are to where they can now brag they're the most efficient home builder on the market, so that's kind of where we're headed with our packaged data. And that's just for builders and manufacturers, not to mention utility providers, local governments that are interested in power distribution, that kind of thing. So, as we get more data and the picture becomes more clear, we'll be able to see different opportunities open up, and they've even started. Certain users have approached us and was like, hey, I don't have an attic, but I've got this auto body shop in California. That's the guy that came online yesterday. So our thought there is, let's study the environment that these guys are working in every day. Let's study that air quality, right? So they don't have an attic, but we can use that data for some valuable purpose. So excited to see where we're headed. We don't exactly know all of the different avenues, but the main revenue stream is going to be from packaging that analyzed data to industry.
Awesome. And Chuck, did you want to add something to it?
Well, I was going to say something in the lines where how we're funding this right now, William, and you guys with our one of our announcements is us now being in a delegate, having a delegate node, and we're using those funds are what we're using to help actually, reward the current, beta testers that we have going on. And so encourage you guys to get out there and stake with EnviroBLOQ and that whole process, because that helps us feed you guys.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I skipped right over that, but that was one of our major accomplishments in Q4 this year, was becoming a delegate node. So right there with MyGenie, but that's how in this pre-seed stage, we're funding our data pool to make this whole model sustainable back out to our data providers. So making sure that this financial model is sustainable to where we can reward users for this data long term.
Awesome. So let's tie that to the future and to the roadmap that you guys shared on Twitter, I think yesterday. So if you want, I could share the post real quick, and maybe you can talk over it and let us know for for all the dreamers out there, for all the EnviroBlock supporters, what's the next few steps are going to look like?
Of course.
All right, so let's do that.
Got that coming. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Chuck turned his camera off, but I'll bring him back on as soon as he turns it back on.
Okay.
And so
All
that's
right.
your post from the other day, and this is the actual roadmap to 2025. So take it away.
Yeah. So as you can see, Q4 there was a big accomplishment for us, as I just touched on. We launched our delegate node. We opened beta testing, so that's running right now. As I said, we've got kind of 43 pebbles, 44 now with California yesterday around the world, feeding us data in real time. Chuck is busy building our local database there, so we're not having to pull multiple days of data every day. We can just pull a fresh day's worth of data for all of our pebbles. So he can feed that into our local database that we're then able to cut and analyze as we see fit. We completed milestone 1, so that was another big accomplishment for us with the Halo grant there with IoTeX. And then we're going to launch our actual Webstream node and then incorporate EnviroBLOQ here in the States. So we're going to get our Delaware C Corp here in Q4. And then looking ahead into next year, Q1, we're going to begin our DApp development. So our actual DApp, decentralized app that you'll be able to download, and it's going to take a little bit. So we're going to start that development in Q1, and also we're going to start automating the rewards. So right now, that's something I'm doing manually each night, is sending out the data rewards to our users around the world. So those of you that are receiving those, that's why they're coming, within 30 minutes or an hour of each other each night. Because I'm currently doing that manually.
Get that automated, Will. We gotta get that automated.
I know.
There's so many things we can work on together. I'm
We're
excited.
I know. So so many things to do. So that's in Q1. And then we want to be able to have a user interface for our data providers, at least from a Web 2 to start with, before our DApp is available. So, come log in our website, enter your Pebble IMEI, and then you'll be able to pull up your data dashboard and be able to see your personalized data, both how you're performing, and then we'll do some comparisons to some comparable regions or others within your region, that kind of deal. Just some cool data visuals there for the user. Milestone 2, we're looking to complete as well in Q1, and then we're hoping to have 100 devices. We should easily hit that in Q1. Q2 is going to be very big for us. That's when we're hoping to obtain our first round of real funding. So that's going to really launch us into beginning developing our first hardware. So right now we're utilizing the Pebbles. It's a plug and play, as y'all know, tamper-proof hardware that IoTeX designed. But very, very early, we're hitting that kind of bottleneck of device constraints there. So we are going to begin developing our own hardware, probably going to start with a tamper-proof gateway. So that's going to begin in Q2, we're forecasting, as well as we're going to start developing our token, our eBlock token. So lots of exciting things coming up in the next 6 months to begin setting us down that path into 2024, which is going to be an even bigger year. So
I've been giving Will a hard time. I said, you put this down on black and white, I'm going to hold you accountable to it, man.
Yeah,
better
be gentle, Chuck. You can publish roadmaps. Don't stress yourself out too much if you have to make pivots or move things along the line. As long as you're transparent, I think that's what the community cares about most.
Right.
If you're going to move something from Q1 to Q3 or Q4, make it publicly known that you did that. Don't just hide the move. Right. Real quick, one question I just want to get out of the way here for Simone with regards to the Pebble. Someone asked, gosh, I wish I knew the answer to this. I think I should, but Pebble is only available with a SIM card, or is there Wi-Fi on there as well? Is there a Wi-Fi module?
No, the board, the Nordic NRF 9160 board on top of which Pebble Tracker is built does not provide Wi-Fi. The only network connection is the cellular network.
So then I'm gonna give kudos to Mountain Man, who answered this question, and we did not need to correct you because you were not wrong. There you go. Cool. Thank you, Simone. Yeah, please proceed. Did you want to keep going over the roadmap, or was there more?
Yeah, no, I'll touch on a couple more highlights there. We've got the PBT. That's our property bound token. So that's something that we've kind of coined and something that I want to really develop here, looking at starting that in Q4 of next year. And that's you've heard of soulbound tokens, and that's kind of an NFT that's issued to a user that's not to be bought or sold. That could be used for voting or degrees or something. But one thing that we're looking at is a property bound token that gets issued to a property. So that would allow data collection to continue through a transaction if a house gets sold, bought and sold. So we're interested in continuing that data collection through that transaction versus, you take your Pebble or your gateway at that point and move it to your next house. We'd much rather give you or sell you another gateway for your next house and keep that data collection going. So in order to do that, we're envisioning a property bound token that gets issued and tied to the property. That doesn't stay to that one user forever. So that's one thing I just want to touch on there on Q4, because that's one thing I'm excited about personally, just as a novel idea there, as well as having our first gateway prototype in Q4. So the only other real thing I wanted to touch on was as we get into having our own gateway available, there's sites like mydevices.com that is going to offer a lot of plug and play options. So there's going to be the ability to utilize some existing hardware that's out there and be able to tie it to a tamper-proof model that we believe will be able to pull valuable data from multiple points to where every sensor doesn't have to be tamper-proof. So that's just something that we're looking at there and very excited about, as well as thinking about building this decentralized data market. So we're going to have to build some marketplace or utilize an existing one if we aren't the ones to build it, to where, if you are an industry player or if you are a city government or a utility provider, you can come in and kind of shop data if you need to buy or purchase specific package data from us. So all in development, all kind of down the road, but lots of things to be very excited about. And as Chuck mentioned, lots to stay busy on. So,
Chuck, anything you want to add there? There was a little question here that popped up. It's funny, we've gotten multiple ways people are spelling EnviroBlock, once with a C, now with a CK. It's with a Q, people. The Q at the end.
Look at their T-shirts.
Yeah. But no, Damien asks, I'm still waiting for the possibility to connect a weather station in the IoTeX ecosystem. It's funny because Will and Chuck and I and the folks here in the office hours, we were talking about how EnviroBlock is setting themselves up for a pretty extreme evolution, right? I mean, I was kind of tossing some ideas out there. Right now, they're focused on the attic, but why not EnviroBlock on the patio, EnviroBlock measuring pollution in your car, hanging from your little rear view mirror, EnviroBlock everywhere. And then the different things you hook into and contribute to could pay different IoTeX wages or base incomes. But yeah, Chuck. Oh, I think you're muted, Chuck? Yeah, you're muted, Chuck.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I keep telling William, there's no telling. This is just touching a toe in the water. So there's no telling what our business model really will be, because there's so many options. We're going to have to pick one and get good at it. So that's the exciting part of this whole thing.
I can't wait to invest, officially invest or advise you guys in some way.
But in any case, I would not be surprised to see a weather station Web3 devices connected to Webstream among the first use cases. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's collecting, what is it? Wind speeds.
There are so many people and communities collecting weather data with these even expensive devices. Some are very professional. I think in the US there are 100,000 devices from normal people running them into their gardens and on their roofs. I'm sure there's a big community that would be happy to earn money.
Yes, absolutely. So guys, it's 45 past. Actually, it's been 30 minutes since we started. Any other things you'd like to update us on EnviroBlock? There's no rush, but after your segment, we're going to transition you into panelists, and then Simone will take the stage with some Webstream updates. And feel free to chime in as panelists
Yeah, no, just thanks for having us on again. We just updated our website, so go check our website out, enviroblock.io.
Oh, let me see if I have the banner for that still. I should.
We still have some stuff left to do, but very excited to clean that up. And you can kind of see we've got our global network map on there as well. So you can kind of get a visual of where we're streaming data from in real time. Other than that, go follow us on Twitter. If you got some extra IoTeX laying around, you're looking to stake, our delegate is number 33 right now. And like we mentioned, that's how we're funding our data rewards pool right now. So that's very huge. So appreciate everyone that's staking with us.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. You
Just
said
thank
so
you
many
guys.
things.
Just
Sorry, say
appreciate
that
you
again?
having us out. Just thank you guys for all of y'all having us up. Appreciate your
Oh,
time and
Chuck.
effort, and
All
Yeah,
my
we'll have
friendship.
you again for
Yeah,
sure.
looking forward for the next update.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Come-
pull your guys'
coming fast.
Twitter here. There you go, Twitter. Oh, so EnviroBLOQ Twitter. There we go. Lowercase e, capital
Q.
BLOQ. There you go.
Thank you guys.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, no, please stick around. Will, Chuck, stick around. If you want to turn your cameras off, I'm going to remove you. But as soon as you turn your cameras back on, we'll bring you back into the show. Simone, Giuseppe, anything you want to add before we close out the EnviroBlock stuff?
Just that, obviously really exciting to have you guys keep on being an awesome part of the IoTeX community, and we'll check on your progress in a few months. But like Will said, with whip, but no stress.
With
No,
but no stress.
Thank y'all for the support, continuous support.
For sure.
Chuck is lead support.
Just
Just kidding. All right, Simone, you have the floor, my friend. Thank you so much. EnviroBlock, and Chuck turned his camera off, so we'll remove him for now. When you turn it back on, we'll bring it back in. Simone, it's all yours.
Yeah, I think we have 15 minutes left or something like that. 20 minutes.
We about 25. 25.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so yeah, let's go through some developer technical updates regarding IoTeX stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I want to pick from where we left during last live stream. We spent 15 or even more, maybe 30 minutes on discussing and presenting what are the concepts behind a Webstream node. I think we presented concepts like publishers, which are device authorization mechanisms. We talked about the event strategy that you can configure inside a Webstream node. It's kind of the high level logic of your Webstream node, what to do when something happens. Then we talked about projects and basically just collection of WebAssembly modules which implement the actual logic with event handlers inside the WebAssembly modules. Then we talked about what are the host functions, which are basically the actual low-level functionalities that the Webstream node makes available to WebAssembly modules. So a couple things I did not present because it was too late. I can just complete here the presentation, and basically we have seen all these concepts where to find and configure them inside the Webstream Studio UI. What we left out are the send event function and the blockchain monitor, the smart contract monitor. So for the send event functionality, maybe I can also show it working to you. This is when you are creating a Webstream node, you have defined the message protocol from your smart device to your Webstream logic, to your Webstream node, and just you want to test it, but you don't have the device yet. Maybe you have not even built it yet, or maybe you have it, but it's not easy to sometimes get the data that you really need for that specific test from a real device. So having the ability to send data directly from the UI in terms of simulating the message is very handy. Of course, you can send the same using the HTTP or MQTT service is directly writing a script to send more complex data sets. But for a quick test of your WebStream node and your WebStream logic, using the UI is definitely very, very, very quick and useful. So you just click the send event on the project. The project, if you remember, is just a container for your WebAssembly module. So you select the project you want to send the message to, click send event, and then you just write here the actual WebStream header of the event. Actually, the header is it's self designed by the UI itself. You just select which publisher you want to send the message on behalf of, and what project you want to send the message to, and then the header. So the WebStream protocol is already written by the UI. You only have to input the custom payload for your specific WebAssembly module for your application. And another thing we did not talk about last time is actually a very important module of the WebStream node, and this is the smart contract event monitor. This is the first component of a set of tools that make it easy for IoT developers to interact with a blockchain. That's how WebStream facilitates the connection of IoT data with blockchain, providing these tools, right? So that an IoT service developer or device manufacturer doesn't have to write too much code to interact with the blockchain. So one important thing that you usually need when you have a layer 2 network or node is to index the blockchain. You usually want to index the blockchain to react to some events that are emitted by your smart contract. So your MachineFi application may have 1, 2, 3, or more smart contracts deployed on the IoTeX blockchain. Probably you have at least one smart contract for a token, then you have one smart contract for that implements the token economy, and then maybe you can have staking aspects, or you can have some gaming logic or whatever business logic, trusted logic on the blockchain. And so you have to somehow connect your WebStream node with these smart contracts. When something happens in terms of interaction with these smart contracts, you probably want to do something inside the WebStream node. So how you do that? You do that with the smart contract event monitor. You can add one or more smart contract monitors in your WebStream node, and you can configure each one with the project to which the monitor belongs to. You can define the code of the event that has to be raised when a specific smart contract event is detected, then the contract address that you want to monitor, the chain ID on which you want to monitor which the smart contract is deployed, the block height when you want to start indexing the smart contract, right? That's typically the block height when you have deployed the smart contract. There is no point to index before that. And then optional, you have a block end if you really want to stop for some reason the indexing at the specific block end. And then finally, you have the topic, which is the event name of your smart contract that you want this module to watch for. Whenever this event is emitted in the smart contract, then the event code or event type that you have defined here will be raised inside WebStream. And then, as you may know, if you have not watched the previous live stream, I suggest you to do so, because we have explained all these concepts there. So this event type that you define here will be raised inside the WebStream node. And because you have some, for sure, you will have an event strategy defined in your WebStream node, you will be able to execute a specific WebAssembly code or function when this specific event is raised. And then you can add more of these modules to monitor different smart contracts and different events inside the same smart contract, and then trigger different handlers inside your WebStream node, depending on what you want to do. And typically you want to sometimes sync data from the blockchain to your WebStream node. When, for example, new devices get registered or new users get registered in your smart contracts, then maybe you want to sync these tables with your WebStream node so that then you can more efficiently process or match this data when smart devices send their data to your node and then implement your logic faster. So this is one very important module. It's still very basic, but we are going to improve this module more with more features and also add more tools to make it easier for a Webstream developer to interact with their layer 1 logic that makes their machine-fi application. So yeah, I want to spend a few words to inform you some of the things we are working on, limited to Webstream only. So you may, if you have watched the previous live stream, I've mentioned, or maybe I have not mentioned it, but I'm mentioning it now, that Webstream, the Webstream node provides, of course, some host functionality, right? This is the low-level application binary interface that a WebAssembly module can use to tell a Webstream node to do some things. And these things are usually sending a transaction to the blockchain, or reading the payload of a message incoming from a smart device, or saving data to the database. Right? This is an important part, an important functionality that a Webstream node exposes to your logic. So one thing that you can do now is to use the key value storage functions. And these functions allow you to store information in terms of key and value, which is typically what you do when you want to save some settings of your application, or when you want to just store some configuration, or even more complex objects, but anyway under a specific key that then you want to retrieve later. So this is definitely not the right type of storage that you need to store the IoT data that's coming from your devices. To store IoT data, you need a relational database, right? Not a key value store. So Webstream is going to implement a very complex layer, abstract layer for storing IoT data. But now we are going to release let's say a quick tool for storing the IoT data from smart devices. And this is a relational database that lives locally inside the Webstream node. And this is probably the main feature still missing in this release of Webstream, and it's coming very soon. And this will actually finally allow you to store the data from your devices inside the Webstream node. So even in your case, IoTeX and EnviroBLOQ, you will be able to store the data into the Webstream node rather than having your database service on the side. This will also, of course, become available in the form of new host functions that you will be able to call from your WebAssembly to save data to this relational database, or to query data from this relational database. In the future, this layer will become more abstract and will allow you to select what type of storage you want, and this can even become a decentralized storage for your data. And also you can expect in the short term, as I said, some improvements on the tools that allow you to interact with the smart contract, so that you have to code Web3. You don't have to do too much Web3 coding where possible. So these are the main things to expect in the short term. Short term, I mean 1 month or even less, and that we are working on. So moving to a different topic here, we had the second workshop with the Africa Blockchain Center last week. This was a 2-session workshop, one short session where we went through how to set up your computer or your server to run a Webstream node. And the second session, which is a much longer one, it's a 2-hour session where we go through the click and earn quick start for Webstream and for machine-fi. So this one is actually exactly the get started tutorial that you find on the IoTeX developer portal under the machine-fi get started, the purple one on the homepage. So we are gonna publish this video pretty soon. We are just making it a bit shorter and easier to follow, so that finally this Get Started will have the written tutorial and also a nice video for you to follow all the steps and also see it working, right? Even if you're not actually following along.
And I think this is a good time here, Simone, to call out the developer hub. Here, I won't block you, Will. I'll block me. Good time to follow up on the developer hub here. Call to action. Developers out there watching this right now and or on demand, go to developers.iotex.io, because this is where you'll access this stuff, right, Simone?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's what I was just saying. If you have not registered yet to the portal, you don't even have to register. You just log in with your GitHub account, because you will get notified when new tutorials and new posts get published. So stay tuned, because in a couple of days, you will have this video published under the machine file Get Started, and it will show up inside the actual tutorial at the top of the tutorial. So I highly invite you to watch for it and follow it. One more small update regarding the developer portal. If you guys like MyGenie, EnviroBLOQ, you're building applications for IoTeX, and you may have some beta testers out there that may want to test your application on the testnet. So these people are not developers, so most probably they don't have a developer account, they don't have a GitHub account. If these people want to have some free, of course, testnet tokens on the IoTeX blockchain, they can just go to the public faucet that we have published on the developer portal here, select dev tools and select public faucet. And here they can just input their wallet address and just verify the address and just confirm and send out some tweet to spread the word about the IoTeX testnet to other developers. And they will immediately get some test IoTeX to run some beta testing program with ecosystem applications. And they don't need to have any account or any developer user on the developer portal. It's public. And another small tool we have added here is something that it's always useful, and it's the address converter. Not going too much into the details here, but you may know IoTeX is an Ethereum compatible blockchain, but it's also its own blockchain with its own protocol, and and IoTeX has its own format for wallet addresses, depending on what tools, what wallets, what SDKs you're using. If you are using IoTeX native tools, then you can use the IoTeX format for the address, which is the one that starts by IO1. But if you're using Ethereum tools like MetaMask, like Web3.js, then those tools expect the address in a 0x format for Web3. And so here is where you can convert any address from in one form or the other very quickly if you need it to. So these were like the updates. One thing I want to show you is, before we stop, is actually here I have a Webstream node running. It's actually the workshop, like the video we are going to publish soon will allow you to build this very simple click and earn application. So actually I have this Webstream node running on my computer, where I've created a click to earn project. Inside this project, I have one applet that I have deployed, and I have, of course, the publisher for a device, and I have a strategy that says, well, any data that comes from a device, just call the start handler of this applet. And this applet is the one that you will find if you follow the get started, the click to earn get started on the developer portal. And it's basically implementing a very simple logic where every 5 clicks on an ESP32 board or an Arduino board or whatever compatible board, you will get 1 token reward. So that's the get started, the machine file get started. So yeah, just want to show it to you here. That's what we are going to show in that video. You have an Arduino board here, and every time you click a button here, you see in the log, this is the log of the WebAssembly module that says, okay, there are 13 clicks until now. Then every 5 clicks, it will mint a new token inside the blockchain smart contract of this token and send it to the account that's also included inside the message from this board. So now that I'm at 15, you see from the log, where is it? I lost it. Well, you see from the log that there has been a new blockchain transaction sent from the Webstream node. This is the hash of the transaction, and this is basically a mint transaction inside a mintable token. And the transaction was sent successfully. And finally, I have also configured the wallet here, and eventually you get this click token inside the balance of your wallet every 5 clicks. And this is, I think, a very simple to understand and also to reproduce tutorial. So yeah, just stay tuned for the video, and when it's out, try to follow along and reach out to us on Discord if you have any ideas how to improve it, or if it's not working for you for any reason, we can definitely help you. With that, yeah, I think I've provided enough updates for today.
Excelente. Let's remove this from here. All right, cool. Simone, great work. Thank you so much. We're ready to close this out then with your permission. Giuseppe, anything you want to comment?
No, just one quick thing that, as you're following through the videos or following through the quick start on the developers portal, also refer to the documentation that's on docs.webstream.com to have, a more thorough explanation, or if you want to read it, you want to pause and, just have a look through. I think Simone spent a lot of time doing an amazing documentation, so it's worth the read for sure.
I feel like everything Simone does is amazing.
It's the result of the whole team. I just read.
A true leader. A true leader.
Exactly.
Awesome. Will, last words?
We're just very excited. Follow us if you're not, and we're going to keep building out this Web3 Machine 5 vision. So,
all right, and then I'm going to say goodbye to Chuck's blank screen. Bye, Chuck.
He's listening, I know. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Have a good one. Thank you so much. Pull it back off. All right, so I'm going to close this episode out. Thank you so much. First and foremost, as usual, to our IoTeXperts, Simone, who's on here, Giuseppe, the best co-host a guy could ask for. William, thank you so much,
Robert.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Will, for joining, and Chuck, of course, as well, from EnviroBLOQ. Don't forget to go check them out at enviroblock.io. That's EnviroBLOQ with a Q. And you can go read all about their company. And they also have a white paper published there. And follow them on Twitter. You can get access to all that through their website. As a reminder, right, because we have to remind everyone every single time, like this video. If you liked it, of course, like it, because it helps us out. Comment if you have feedback. If you know someone that wants to join us here, we would be glad to interview them and showcase any of the cool developer stuff they're doing on IoTeX. And subscribe to the IoTeX official channel so that you can get more content like this in the future. We go live every single week. Unfortunately, this week we went off track. We're off the schedule, but every single week at 1:15 Pacific on Wednesdays. This is a one-off. It happens every now and then, but 1:15 Pacific on Wednesdays, you'll find us right here broadcasting developer updates for IoTeX and meeting with the cool folks from our developer community. All right. Thank you so much. You all have a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you to Robert. Come on. Thank you to Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are too kind.
The best presenter and the most energetic presenter one could ask for.
Without
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I mean, I get paid in tacos, so I'm a happy camper.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, you all have a wonderful one. Thank you so much. We'll see you next
guys.
time. Don't forget to join us on the Discord server. And y'all were great. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
See y'all soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.